Welcome everyone to a brand new episode of the Action Movies Golden Hour podcast. Today we have a very special guest, my friend Diana Weng, an actress, a mentor, an acting, dialogue, and dialect coach, an automated dialogue replacement, traveling for the past 28 years, accompanied with the one and iconic martial artist, stuntman, filmmaker, Big Brother Jackie Chan, on set in addition with his stunt team, aka 𝗥𝗘𝗟𝗣, during his movie productions such as the Rush Hour film franchise, Shanghai Noon, the Tuxedo, the Medallion, New Police Story, Karate Kid Legends. Furthermore, she collaborated on various projects such as The Joy Luck Club 1993, produced by Oliver Stone, starring with these talented actresses Ming-Na Wen, Tamlyn Tomita, and others, as well as a hit American TV show Martial Law, with the legendary accomplished Hong Kong actor, martial artist, film producer, director, and fight choreographer Sammo Hung. Several other TV shows appearing in one or two episodes, such as Lizzie McGuire, Dharma Greg, Becker, The Steve Harvey Show, and so on. How are you, Diana?
Hi, thank you very much for having me here today.
It's my pleasure to meet you finally. And yes, let's get started. Could you please tell us your tale? How did it all begin for you?
Hmm. I guess I can start from the very beginning, which is I grew up in San Francisco. My family owned restaurants and grocery stores. At a very early age, I was exposed to all kinds of people. And I never really thought that my background had anything to do with my acting career, but I think it really all comes in together. As I went to college at Berkeley, I decided to study English because I wanted to be a writer. And my professor in college, in Chinese class, asked me to enter a speech competition. All the
Okay.
students had to enter. And my Chinese is okay, but not great. So I entered the competition. And surprisingly, I won.
Cool.
And after I won, a lot of people came up to me to praise me. And many people said, "Do you have an acting background? You seem like you could be an actor, or maybe you are an actor." And I had no idea what that was. I never even thought about pursuing it. But I thought, with so many people asking me if I was an actor, maybe I should take an acting class. So I took an acting class, and it was really fun. But it wasn't life changing. It was just, entertaining, and I enjoyed myself making new friends and doing something different. But the second acting class I took was really good. My professor was so good. She was so funny and entertaining, and watching her made me want to become her. And at that same time, I was making friends with other actors. And one of my friends from college started a theater company and asked me to be in one of his productions. It was Paper Angels, written by Jenny Lim, about the experience of the Chinese immigrants in the 1800s. And it was so fun to perform with a group of people in front of an audience, telling a story that touched people's hearts. And I was hooked. After that, I appeared in a few more productions in school. And when my friends and I all graduated, we went on to get agents. So my agent in San Francisco got me Joy Luck Club. Joy Luck Club was a big feature film. And in San Francisco, all the Asian actors went to audition for it. So suddenly I felt like I was a professional actor because I am now on a film set. I have a role in the film. But when I arrived on the set, I saw another actor dressed just like me. And we're both pregnant teenagers. And I knew in the story there was only one. So I saw the director, talked to the assistant director, and they're looking at the two of us and they're pointing their fingers at us. And she came up to me and said, "Oh, I'm sorry, but your role's been cut. You can go home or you can stay and have lunch." So being an optimist, I stayed, had lunch, networked, got some numbers, befriended many people. And the caterer was also an independent filmmaker. And he asked me to be in his next film. So I said, sure. A few months later, he did call me, and I was in his short film. And in that short film, I later on found out that turned out to be a little boy in our film turned out to be John Chu, the director of Wicked, the director of Crazy Rich Asians. So it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
incredible to find that out many years later, of course.
Wow.
But that was a very disappointing experience because it was my big first feature film, and it did not end the way I thought it should have ended. But it didn't matter because it got me into the union. I now could call myself a professional actor, and I was able to put that credit on my resume. Even though I'm not in the film, my name is in the film. So if you're to watch the film, you will see my name. I get end credits. And I continue my acting career in LA. And within a year, I was finally able to get talent representation. I was able to get 2 agents and a manager. And it was my manager who arranged for a meeting for me to go in to be a dialogue coach for Jackie Chan on Rush Hour. I didn't really know what that was, but I figured I just have to teach him dialogue for the film. It can't be that hard. So I went into the meeting, and there were like 15 people in that room, and it was Jackie and his entourage. And my Chinese is not that good, so I got really nervous because I didn't think I had a chance of getting this job. I figured the moment I opened my mouth, he was going to know that my Chinese was terrible. So I spoke to him in Cantonese because he's from Hong Kong.
Yeah.
And he said immediately, "Your Cantonese sounds so strange. Where are you from? Malaysia?" And I said, "No, I'm from San Francisco, and I learned my Cantonese in Chinatown. There's a school there." And he said, "When you speak Cantonese, you sound like you're in pain." Now, Cantonese has 7 to 11 tones, and when you try to make those perfect sounds, your face can sometimes look a little bit, distorted. And so I spoke to him in Mandarin, and he thought it was better than my Cantonese, but it still wasn't very good. So I got the job. I became his dialogue coach, and for 4 months, I taught him dialogue for Rush Hour. Some people call it dialect coach, but I was hired as a dialogue coach. Later on, I found out that dialect coaches are really no different. They're teaching the actors how to speak in that dialect, whatever it may be. So for Rush Hour, it was English. But for someone else, it could be, Cantonese or Mandarin or Japanese, But for me, it was English for Jackie. And as I worked with Jackie, I learned how to, I learned about his personality, I learned about his background, and that helped me work with him because he hated learning English, and it was a little bit of a painful experience for both of us. It was often me chasing after him, trying to force him to learn his lines, and him hiding and getting away from me. So,
All right.
we survived.
I want to talk about the Joy Luck Club. Who referred to you for the part? How was the audition, meeting the director, the cast, such as gifted actresses Ming-Na Wen, Lauren Tom, and more?
So at that time, I had an agent. My agent arranged for me to be auditioned. They gave me some sides, which is the dialogue from a scene from the screenplay.
Yeah.
And they weren't sure which role I should read for. So I was called in 6 times to read different roles. Eventually, I was cast as Lindo's servant, a pregnant teenager. And when I went to the callbacks each time, I was excited because I knew that they were interested in me. When you get called back, that means they want you. They just don't know where they're going to put you in the project, but they want you.
Yeah.
And normally in the final callback, you will meet the director, but he wasn't there. So I never met the director until I was on the set.
Yeah.
However, I met his wife. His wife is also an actor, and I guess she helped him behind the scenes on the film. So it was actually she who I met and in person, and I guess she liked me enough to hire me. But he could only figure out whether he wanted me or not based on the videotapes, because casting directors put you on tape and then they send that to the director. And obviously, he could not decide between another actor and myself, which is why we were both hired. We were both put in costume and makeup, and he made his decision on the set.
Okay. Is there a possibility that this rare footage of yours still might exist? We may see it in the future in case it gets a release in a 4K format. Sometimes it could happen with.
Well, I wish that was the case, but unfortunately, he made a decision to not
Okay.
use me.
Oh, so
He
they
decided
deleted.
to use the other actor, right? So I'm not in the film at all. He made his decision that he was going to use the other actor, and I was told I could go home or have lunch. So I had
Okay.
lunch and made friends.
Oh,
I'm
that's
still
nice.
friends with many of the people I met that day.
Your friends, I think, with Ming-Na Wen along with other
Well,
casting
well,
like
I
Laura and
actually
Tom.
did not meet her that day.
Oh, okay.
However, 1 year later, when the film was to be released, they
hmm
had a cast and crew screening, and I
hmm
was invited. And I thought, why would they invite me? You know, I'm not in the film.
hmm
And I thought maybe they feel sorry for me.
Yeah.
So I went to watch the film with my friend. And at the end of the film, I saw my name. So I have screen credit, but not the other actor.
After the success of your acting debut, you started in another project with a sudden famous future film director, John M. Chu. Do you recall what this short film was about and what character did you play?
I never saw the film, but it was like a
Okay.
gangster film, and I played a singer. I
Okay.
don't know what his role was, but somebody said something like he was a little boy running around in the alleyway. But I've never seen the film, so I don't know.
Okay, no problem. I understand. In the 90s, during your time in Hong Kong, you've met two action stars from the golden era of Hong Kong cinema, Tony Leung Chiu-wai and Chow Yun-fat. What it was like to meet them for the very first time?
So I went to this educational program in Taiwan
hmm
for 6 weeks. And after the program, many of us went to Hong Kong to explore the city. My girlfriend has a big crush on Tony Leung. His Chinese name is, or in Cantonese, is Leung Chiu-wai. And I had never seen any of his films before. But that morning when I was walking around with my friends, I saw a poster. So I thought I would buy it for her. So I took that poster and I held onto it. And my friends in Hong Kong gave us a tour of the city. And then that night, they wanted to go to the nightclub. It's called Canton Nightclub, a very popular, famous nightclub where a lot of stars went to. But I didn't know that at that time. You know, I was 19. I was still carrying the poster because we didn't go back to the hotel.
Yeah.
And at the nightclub, I saw a man who looked like the guy in my poster, but I wasn't sure. So I took the poster and I opened it up and looked at that man. I'm like, oh my gosh, that is him. So I went up to him and I said, you know, are you Tony Leung? I said in Chinese. I spoke to him in Cantonese.
Yeah.
And he
Yes.
said, yes, that's me. And I said, oh, this morning I just bought your poster. And then I said, do you want to dance? So I asked him if he wanted to dance. He said he was drunk and didn't want to dance, but he said he would autograph the poster for me. And he would take pictures with my friends. So my girlfriends and I took pictures with him. And I thought to myself, I'm going to blow up this picture and turn it into a poster and then give it to my girlfriend. And
Oh,
that's what I did.
wow.
I gave her
Wow,
the
that's really
poster
cool.
and a picture of myself. And, you know, when I gave it to her, she opened up the poster of Tony and I, and she went, why are you in it? She was like, I just want a picture of him. I don't want you. But that was my experience with Tony. Super nice guy, really friendly. And I was so happy that many years later, many of my friends worked with him at Shang-Chi.
Have you encountered other famous Hong Kong celebrities and singers?
So that night, I'm sure there were many, but I didn't know. I really didn't know that many Chinese actors because I didn't really watch Chinese films back
Yeah.
then, right?
Yeah.
As for Chow Yun-fat, I actually met him in San Francisco. He came to an event, and so I met him at the event. And super nice guy. I took a picture with him, but we didn't talk very much.
Okay. When you moved to LA in 1996, you did extra work for a year in so many TV shows and sitcoms like Nash Bridges, Star Trek Deep Space Nine, ER, Hanging with Mr. Cooper, The Jamie Foxx Show, and many that you don't recall. But you gain experiences learning, watching, interacting with actors and directors. How great was it to be on set with these accomplished performers such as Jamie Foxx, George Clooney? And what is the most important lesson that you've learned while being a background actor?
It is crucial, I think, for any actor to know how a set is run, to know who are the people you are working with. And when you're a background actor, you have an opportunity to see how it's done. You get to see the director interact with the actor, the assistant director interact with the background actors, what the cameraman's doing, what the makeup and hair is doing, costume. I mean, there's so many people who are involved in the production. So I always pay attention. I always listen to what the director is saying to the actors. And being a background actor, you get comfortable on a set. But also, what's really important is an opportunity to network. You meet so many people in production who are all doing their own side jobs. They're all doing something else outside of what they're doing on the set. So networking is really important. But it's also important to network with the background actors, because background actors, they're very experienced. LA background actors are very, very experienced. They come on a set with their own chair because they know there's a lot of standing around and there aren't always that many chairs. So they come with their own chair. They come with extra clothing that they can change into in case they don't like what they're wearing. They bring their computer, and immediately when they're not being used, they are on their computer, on their phone, sitting in the chair, looking for their next job. They're setting up their entire week. So I met so many background actors who actually had no interest in being an actor at all. They were completely happy just being a background actor because they're making good money.
Yeah.
And I met a guy who said he put it his family. He raised like 3 kids, put them all through college through the background acting money that he made. So I was really surprised. I thought people were background actors because they want to be actors and they want opportunities, but that wasn't true at all. Many of them were completely happy just simply doing that. But through these background actors, I made friends and I got information. I learned which agency is a good one and which management company is a good one. And it was actually through one of these background performers that I got my manager, who got me the job on Rush Hour.
All right. The next film we're going to talk about is Red Corner 1997 with Richard Gere, Bai Ling, Byron Mann, Sima, Roger Ewan, also the stunt performers, George Chung, Michiko Nishikawa, James Liu, Simon Rhee. So there's a small scene when Richard bumps into you while you're pushed off a bike only for a couple of seconds. During the chase, we also see Diana Lino Santos' surprise appearance while she looks unscared of Richard. How your cameo took place and your experience working with Richard Gere?
In that film, I was a background actor. They told me I was going to be sitting on this bike and that Richard Gere was going to run through the crowd. And there was going to be a lot of stunt performers placed amongst us. And he was told in advance who the stunt performers were, but there were so many of them, and I'm sure he couldn't keep track. So as a result, in the very first take, when he started running, he pushed me off the bike. We did that scene many more times, and he did not push me off the bike after that. But I thought it was funny that in the film they used that take. So that was my interaction with Richard. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. The next one, the big one, Rush Hour, released in 1998. One of my absolute favorite film franchises, starring Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker in their respective roles as Detective Lee and James Carter, with Tom Wilkinson, Sima, Ken Leung, Elizabeth Pena, Chris Penn, Jean Lebel, and many more. So the JC Stunt Team, Andy Chang, Ken Lo, Nikki 𝗥𝗘𝗟𝗣𝗥𝗑𝗕𝗓, Shengmanqing, Johnny Chongwan, and Pakeo. My question is, this was your first experience being a dialogue coach for Jackie, a life-changing experience for you, and you made an appearance as a dinner guest at the very last minute as an extra sitting next to restaurator and actor Michael Chow. How did you get hired to be a dialogue coach your first time meeting Jackie and including his fearless stunt team such as Andy Chang, Ken Lo, and 𝗥𝗘𝗓𝗥𝗕𝗓 Chongqi?
So my manager told me that Rush Hour was being shot in Los Angeles, and they actually submitted my picture for a role in the film. But they said they wanted me to go in for a meeting to be a dialogue coach because I wrote down on my resume that I could speak Cantonese and Mandarin. And Jackie is from Hong Kong, so
Yes.
he speaks Cantonese.
Yes.
And that's why I was brought in for the meeting. And when I went into the meeting, like I said, it was full of people. And the director was there, the producers were there, the stunt team was there, managers were there. It was packed. And I didn't know who these people were. And my conversation with Jackie was very short. I just basically told him that I was an actor from San Francisco. I just moved to LA. And I told him that I have coached other actors. In fact, I did coach other actors, but I was never paid to do so because they were always my friends.
Mm-hmm.
But this was the first time I was being considered for a professional job where I was being paid to do this.
Yeah.
But I figured, it can't be that hard.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an actor. He's an actor. All I have to do is teach him his lines, right?
Yes.
But I learned very quickly that it was really difficult. It was really difficult because, number one, he hated learning English. He just hated it. There was nothing about it that he loved. So it made my job very, very difficult because he did not want to learn it. He did not want to spend time practicing it. And he was very impatient. He really did not enjoy the experience of making that film.
Oh.
When he wanted to do fight scenes, they didn't give him enough time. He didn't like the fact that his co-star, Chris Tucker, was constantly changing his lines. And when he changed his lines, it would change Jackie's lines. And Jackie was already having a hard time learning the lines that he had. And suddenly when his lines had to be changed, it got him mad. So it got to the point where he just almost refused to learn his lines because he was so sure it would change. Right?
Yeah.
So it made my job extremely difficult. I tried to be his shadow and follow him everywhere on the set because I just never knew when they needed him. So the only way to make sure that he was practicing with me was to be close to him. And he did not like that either. I gave him no privacy. Wherever he went, I went. And one time he made fun of me because he walked in one big circle knowing that I was going to follow him.
Oh my God. But okay. To become a dialogue coach, how many languages are you required to learn?
Well, I've met many coaches. Some speak many languages. Some make up their own language.
Oh.
Yes. Some coaches I've met are so skillful, they can create an alien language. But for me, I only have to speak English to Jackie, right? But when he doesn't understand something, then I explain to him in Cantonese or Mandarin.
Okay.
However, I do speak a little bit of Spanish. So when Chris Tucker had to say El Pollo Loco, which means the crazy chicken, the name of a very famous restaurant or, fast food chain in LA, I was able to help him because I speak Spanish. So sometimes Jackie had to learn to speak certain words in different languages. Like I think in one film, he had to speak French. So I would then learn it too. So I would try to learn whatever he had to learn so I can help him and teach him. But I do speak a little bit of Spanish. And whenever we travel all over the world, I try to learn some of the language there too. So I've learned a little bit of Thai, learned a little bit of Japanese, a little bit of Tahitian.
All right. Thank you so much. My next question is, was it also the first time that Jackie had a dialogue coach in this movie specifically, or did he had one in his previous films before Rush Hour, example, Rumble in the Bronx?
By a strange coincidence, I actually have met two No, three of his other coaches.
Oh, okay.
So in many of his American films, he has hired coaches,
Hmm.
and they all said that they enjoy working with him,
Yeah.
and they didn't say that it was difficult. But I definitely had a hard time.
Yeah.
Um, but everyone has a different way of learning and different way of working. Because it was my first big film, I really wanted to do well.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
it was Jackie's first American film in a long time, and I wanted him to do well.
Oh, yeah,
So
for sure.
I pushed him hard, even though he hated it. I
Hmm.
pushed him hard, and I think I drove him crazy. And when we finished filming, I was certain I would never see him again because it was such a painful experience
Yeah. I
for both
imagine.
of
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.